Hi, honey.
Hello.
We didn't enter the podcast like that the last two times because we didn't have a name for the podcast yet.
Yeah, we were just trying to figure it out as we go.
Obviously, we still are. We're in our living room because we felt like it was more cozy,
mhm,
comfy, while
mhm.
we're trying to figure out what the heck we're doing with the podcast room.
So bear with us. We are in the process of making it a studio and a nice little spot where hopefully everything looks and sounds good. But yeah, we're gonna just try out some spots in the meantime, I think. So
Yeah,
see how it
and you
goes.
can let us know what you like.
Yeah, or just tell if it's
But,
really bad and we'll just try something else.
but anyways, what are we talking about today?
GLP-1s?
We really have no agenda for this conversation other than we knew we wanted to talk about GLP-1s because, number one, it's a hot topic. Number two, a recent reel I posted about had some comments on it, and I got a lot of messages, a lot of questions. So I want to go over those common questions, and I also just want to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, and every time you post or anything, there's 5, 10 people that all say the same thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't have the basic information.
Well, we want to start this with we are not, obviously, not medical professionals. This is not medical advice. This is my personal experience using GLP-1. You can take this as you will. Do not use this video or social media as your means of education, please, for all things. Don't. Do actual research like we did, but
Consult your doctor and don't blame
unless
us
your
for your
doctor is dumb.
decisions. Unless your doctor's dumb. Get a different
That's a whole nother thing that we are about to get into.
What's the most common question everybody asks you about it?
Insurance. How does insurance approve?
So not should I or what does it do, but like just how do I get it?
No, I get those questions too.
Okay.
But the most common one is insurance. First, maybe let's start into my journey and then we can answer the
Yeah, let's do
questions.
that.
So I have been a type 1 diabetic since I was 9 years old. I'm 32 at the time that you're watching this. And I had seen GLP-1s much like many other people just because it went like rapid fire crazy on social media. And so all I saw, being someone that also follows a lot of people in like the health and fitness world, I kind of just saw the bad stuff on it, like the negative. And so I had my viewpoint of like, oh, that's like whatever. I had a negative viewpoint. I saw two other type 1 diabetic girls share that they were using it. And so that started my like research. I researched it for a little bit and then I came and talked to you about it. I wanted to make sure my opinion wasn't swayed. So I didn't talk to anybody about it. I just did research.
And I remember you were watching some videos about other people trying it, starting it, or just talking about pros and cons. I think at one point you mentioned something about your view has changed a little and you're looking into it. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see where that goes.
He was so supportive from the beginning. I don't know why I was shocked, but
You were
yeah.
so scared to tell me.
Yeah.
You're like, I have something that I wanted to bring up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
You're like, anything that's going to help your diabetes
Yeah,
management, let's do it.
yeah, if it's good for you, let's do it. I don't care.
So did that. I decided. So before I brought it to my endocrinologist, I decided myself, I'm going to do this. So that's like kind of tip number one. That's a question I get a lot is like, I've had some people say their endocrinologist doesn't support it. I've had people say, how do I talk to my endo about it? Because, you haven't yet. The first thing I want to say, I know we're kind of sharing my story, but I want to say this too. If you do not feel supported by your endocrinologist or you don't feel comfortable talking to your endocrinologist about things or asking questions because you're curious, you need to find a new one. Hot take.
Any doctor, all doctors.
A hot take, but
Yeah.
we're talking about,
For sure.
about endocrinologists. If your endocrinologist doesn't like being challenged, and I'm not saying in a way where you come in like, I'm going to challenge you, but just like ask questions. And if they don't know about it, they say, I'm willing to like ask some colleagues or do some research and find out. Or they flat out say they don't know. But if they give you a blanket answer, I've had two girls recently messaging me about this. Like, well, what'd your endo say? Why don't they want you to try it? Their endo didn't have like knowledge to back it up. So if they're giving you blanket answers and you're just like another check mark on their list of to-dos for the day, I know that they're busy. My endocrinologist is busy, but she does take the time to research things. And if she doesn't have knowledge on things, she will tell you, I'm not quite sure, but I will look into it, or whatever it is. But anyway, so I had already decided that I was going to do it. And then I went to my endocrinologist and I was like, so nervous. I don't know why. I've been seeing her since 2021. She's always made me feel comfortable. But at the end of my appointment, I was like, hey, so I want to try GLP-1. And she was like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, oh, do you have any patients on GLP-1? She said a lot of them. I prescribe it to a lot of type 1s. And she was telling me, I was like, well, I'm not like morbidly obese or anything like that. And she was telling me the experience she had. She was telling me about some different patients. And she sent me home with samples that day.
It was like, what, 3-4 weeks worth? It was a lot.
Yeah, she sent me home with 8 weeks worth of Ozempic
Oh,
sample.
right.
Ozempic was not my friend. But anyways, she sent me home with that. And then I told her I didn't love Ozempic. So then I didn't even finish out the full 8 weeks. I think I did like 7. But because I was like, oh, I just have to give it a full shot. So then I sampled Mounjaro, loved that. And meanwhile, she was trying to appeal my health insurance. So that's another question I get a lot. And they weren't having it, so she sent in like a second appeal. I think she did 3 appeals, and so finally she's like, okay, we're gonna have to go to a compound pharmacy unless you want to pay like a boatload of money.
Yeah.
So
At least that's an option though. That's good.
yeah, so she sends my prescriptions to a compound pharmacy for tirzepatide, which is like Mounjaro. And I didn't know this, I haven't done enough research on it, but actually Ozempic and like semaglutide, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, they're actually 2 different types of GLP-1. Ozempic and semaglutide, they're just a GLP-1 receptor. And then the other ones, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, those are actually a GLP-1 receptor and a GLP receptor. Look into that. It was really cool. So it has an added thing to it. I'm not a doctor. Has an added ingredient to it, and so that could be why I'm having better response to it. Just saw too significant of changes for me to deny that GLP-1 was the way to go. So
Yeah.
anyways, that's my quick story on how I
You should talk about some of the side effects you were having though on Ozempic.
Oof,
'Cause
that was
it's
rough.
super common.
Yeah.
I've known
Mm-hmm.
at least 10 people easily in the last like 2 years that have tried
Yeah.
Ozempic, and maybe one person didn't have nausea.
Yeah. Out of the dozens and dozens of conversations I've had with type 1s, only one of them liked Ozempic. So it's pretty common. It works for some people, but yeah, I was really, really nauseous. Of course, like getting on a GLP-1, which by the way, our body produces that like on its own. So GLP-1 isn't some like again,
It's a
this isn't
hormone.
educational. Yeah, it's a hormones. And so people, there's so much miseducation out there. But I was super nauseous. I had like no appetite at all. Yes, when you get on GLP-1, your appetite does decrease, but like I had no appetite, but I had to eat. Otherwise I would feel sick, and I was just nauseous all the time. Especially the first 2 days after taking my dose, it just sucked. And then when I got on Mounjaro, I had 0 side effects. I was like, wait, is this working at all? And it is.
And then your blood sugar was just more steady. You lost a little weight, no nausea. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mounjaro's the way.
Yeah. Mounjaro's the way. So the insurance question, no, currently health insurance does not approve type 1 diabetics for GLP-1s. Go through a compound pharmacy. I don't know, like wherever you're watching this from, wherever you're from. I live in Oklahoma. My compound pharmacy is in Texas, and they just ship it. So it may be worth looking into or asking your endo about it. It's called Sans RX. I'll put it in the description. But Sans RX out of Texas, and they just ship it on over, and that's what I do. It's super easy.
Straight to your door.
Straight to my door. Another common question is, yeah, like the support of your doctor. I had somebody comment, like this last week, how did you get support from your endo or something along the lines? And just even that question kind of made me feel sad for them because
Mhm.
if you don't feel support from your endocrinologist, it is time to move on. Everybody knows, and I see this all the time in the diabetic world, that like endocrinologists are the tiniest piece of the puzzle. They're the ones that you see every few months. Like you're the one that carries diabetes every day, but you should still have a helpful endo, even if you're only seeing them,
Yeah.
a few times a year. I think it's still worth having a helpful one. And when you do have a good endocrinologist, you will understand why. Because before Lacey, I did not have good experiences with any adult endocrinologist. My children one, she was awesome. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, GLP-1 has helped me so much. My insulin needs have cut in half. I used to put 125 to 140 units of insulin in my pod that I change every 3 days. Now I'm putting 90 units of insulin in it. And I'm only putting 90 because that's the minimum you can put in it. I actually usually like 10 units left over. So I'm using like 80 units of insulin every 3 days.
That's
So
wild.
I've almost cut it in half. Which is crazy. So yeah.
It's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. And another question, of course, is like, have you lost weight? So I don't weigh myself. I personally used to have like battles with it in the past, and I just know that's what works for me, to not have a scale in the house. I don't care. I do get weighed at the doctor's, obviously. And when I started GLP-1, maybe I shouldn't put weight on here. When I started GLP-1 compared to now, I am down 15 pounds.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, 15 pounds. So a year ago, I'm down 23 pounds. But so some of that was just on my own things that I was doing. But
Yeah, and the whole time you're staying active, you're lifting, you're, trying to get good sleep, all the things. We're not sitting around doing cardio and counting calories or anything, but you're still living like the healthy lifestyle, basically.
yeah,
And one thing that I'm going to mention, because nobody talks about it, is all the GLP-1s are extremely catabolic. Any kind of drug that's gonna basically just ramp up your metabolism, and even if a side effect is you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna lose muscle. So you have to prioritize more protein. You have to do some type of resistance training. And even then, you're probably gonna still lose muscle if you do everything right. You may or may not think it's worth it, but some people already are at a level where they don't have enough muscle mass, and so you probably would want to try and get that up a little bit before starting it.
that's
Um,
good advice.
but yeah, and aside from that, just it should make you want to be healthier in general, and like okay, I'm not relying on the drug to do the work, but you still have to put the effort in to eat your meals because you just won't eat because you won't really think about it.
You
So
literally, if I do not think about it, I'm not, I don't eat. I'm not
And
hungry.
that being said, on Ozempic, you could go, if you could go long enough to not feel sick about not eating, you'd go 2, 3 days without eating. You wouldn't want to,
Yeah.
but as soon as you switch to Monjaro, I think within a day or two, you said you had no nausea.
Yeah. And you were like, whoa, you're hungry. I was like eating a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You were
I
starving.
actually have an appetite.
Yeah.
I have an appetite, but my appetite is smaller. But I was overeating before. Like even if I was full, this is really common. If you're full, if what you're eating like tastes really yummy, or maybe you grew up in a household where it's like clean your plate, you don't want to waste food, which is like really, really bad habits, honestly. Like if your body is signaling you're full, it doesn't matter what you have on your plate, you're done. And I didn't know how to do that necessarily. I mean, I did, but I didn't. It's been so helpful. And you're saying like, yeah, you want to build muscle and all of that. So a little of like context and backstory on me is I have been living a like healthy, active lifestyle for a decade now. And so, um, I have the muscle memory, I have the lifestyle habits, the healthy habits, whatever. I didn't Of course, one of the things I was excited about was, am I going to see weight loss? And I would never lie about that because I have been living such a healthy lifestyle for so long. And it's always been so hard for me to lose weight. I can gain muscle, but losing weight has always been so hard for me unless I'm going to the extremes. And this past year, I told Mike, I'm done with the extremes. Like, I don't want to do like cuts anymore or things like that. And, if we're like going on a vacation, I want to challenge myself, sure, that's fine. But I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. And so finally being able to feel like I've, like I've been doing all the right things, but I haven't seen results. And now I'm still doing semi right things. We haven't been the best lately, but I'm seeing results. I'm still going
It's
to the
still been
gym
healthy
4 to 5
food.
days a
You're
week.
still lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still doing the things you're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
And I've hit a lot of PRs actually
Oh yeah, that's true.
at the gym. So my strength has
You're
not gone down.
Yeah, so technically that should signal that you've increased muscle mass,
Yeah.
which if you were starving for 2 months on Ozempic, that makes sense that you gained some muscle back just being
Yeah.
able to eat again. So now if you came from no GLP-1 and then you hopped on the Monjaro, it probably ticked down a little bit. But you're doing as much as you could probably do. You know, people that take insulin, diabetic or not, there's other reasons to take it. There's sports performance and all kinds of things. Um, it's gonna kind of work as a steroid in a sense because it's gonna signal everything, all your nutrients, your carbs. You're gonna be able to get glycogen in your muscles quicker to recover faster. And anyway, long story short, right? Um, Insulin's going to either help you build muscle or retain muscle, or it's going to help you gain fat or lose fat, right? So anyone taking insulin, you are more susceptible to gain fat, but you can also gain more muscle. It's just harder to lose it. So, I mean, harder to lose the fat. So whenever you start going on something like the GLP-1, it kind of just takes that insulin out of the equation because you're so much more steady. You don't have these huge spikes like you were before.
It takes the
And
negative effects of the insulin, quote, quote, out of the
yeah,
equation. He's not
it,
saying it's
I
taking the
mean,
insulin
it
out of the
makes it
equation.
more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
much better,
That's a better way to put it. Yeah.
more efficient. Yeah. And so normally you were doing everything right. And even when we were not all the time, but when we would try to cut or count calories, weigh meals, whatever, you might see a couple pounds come off, but like you were doing everything that should work. It's just
And it wasn't.
the insulin being diabetic, it's just going to slow that down. And you were getting there, but the amount of time and effort is just not quite worth it, I think, at a
Yeah.
certain point.
Yeah, and that's when I got to my breaking point of saying like I'm being healthy for me. I'm no longer in it for the looks because I was literally killing myself. Like I already enjoy both of us enjoy healthier lifestyle. We enjoy trying to make healthier choices. We're not perfect, but we're also not like we're not trying to compete on stages or anything like that. We just like to make smarter choices when we can. So
I just
like
want to feel good.
yeah, we just want to feel good. But yeah, it helped so much and I'm so grateful. I had somebody else ask me because yes, my insulin usage did decrease quite significantly. Um, but recently I shared on Instagram, I think just on my stories, and by the time this airs, you will see that I switched insulin pumps. My A1C went up, and that is kind of the question I want to answer. Somebody asked me if it like makes, I forgot exactly how they put it, but you still have to manage your diabetes. Whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, it helps with insulin sensitivity. It does not magically cure your body to where you're not having to manage.
Yeah, imagine someone just gave you better insulin, some magic insulin. Like it's not just going to do everything in your life
Like you
for you.
still have to do it.
Yeah.
You still have to put in the work. And so I have just really been struggling with the Omnipod. And like I said, by the time this airs, if you follow on Instagram, you'll see this. But I was an Omnipod user for 5 years, and then when Twist came out, I really wanted to try it. My doctor was like, "I think this is gonna be something super great, blah, blah." So I was the 4th person in Oklahoma
Mhm.
to try the Twist. I gave it almost 3 months, and I think honestly I wasn't mentally ready for the change, but because it's quite different from Omnipod.
Mhm.
Quite different. There's tubing, the way that just everything is different, and so we went to the endocrinologist the other day,
Mhm.
and my A1C went up. It went up, and it kind of solidified something I'd already been thinking about for a couple of months and switching back to the Twist pump, which I'm gonna do today. Right now, I'm wearing the pod, but you can't see it. But I'm switching back today. So all that to say, GLP-1 didn't magically just make my diabetes management better. It made it easier because I'm more insulin sensitive, but you still have to manage and you still have to do what's right for you. There are still other tools out there that can help. GLP-1 is a tool. You have to put in the work, and then there are other tools, like maybe you like MDI better, maybe you like this pump, that pump, whatever, but it's a tool. It's one of the tools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and insulin sensitivity isn't gonna fix or change anything for you if you're doing everything wrong. Might make it worse even,
Yeah, and I
you know?
wasn't necessarily doing everything
No, I'm
wrong,
saying
but
if somebody's expecting it to do the work
yeah.
for them,
Yeah, it does not do the
yeah.
work for you.
Yeah, it's the same deal as all the guys at the gym, doing things they shouldn't, you
Yeah.
know. You know who I'm talking to. But yeah,
I don't know
so
if any of those would be watching this.
there's a couple. But anyway, yeah, it really does make it more efficient just in general. So if you can do everything else right and get that locked in routine, everything's good, and then you can add the GLP-1, you'll see a huge difference. It'll
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah, so do your research, find a supportive endocrinologist, still put in the work. It's bomb. I personally, I mean, I'm one of those that's like to each their own. What works for some might not work for others, but I would highly encourage type 1 diabetics to at least look into it, at least research and be open-minded because it's changed my life so much. I do not see a day that I'll ever go back. So,
Yeah, I mean, this is
yeah.
what it was made for. This is why they have this drug.
Yeah.
So it's gonna work. It's just which one is the right one for you.
Which one's the right one? I'm on the low dose of tirzepatide, by the way. I pay $150 a month. It lasts like 6 weeks, so less than 150 a month, but
Yeah.
you get the kind of idea. So we're talking about GLP-1s for type 1 diabetics. I do think they are also obviously beneficial for other things like type 2 diabetics, PCOS, um, and if somebody doesn't have diabetes or PCOS and is morbidly obese, it's something that can help them kickstart. Maybe they're just having a really hard time or they're dangerously obese. I think it's so helpful.
Hmm.
I do think Mike and I might have differing opinions on this, or maybe we don't as much anymore. Who I don't think it's for is if you don't have any health conditions and you're not overweight. Like, I'm not talking morbidly obese. Like, you're not even overweight. If you have like none of those and you just want like 10 pounds you want to lose for vacay, I'm so against it. And if one of my friends is watching this, she knows because I'm very boisterous about it. And the reason why isn't because like it's not like a bash talk saying like you're cheating or anything like that, but because I know the mental toll that will start to have on you. It is another way of doing a yo-yo diet. You're gonna get the results you want. When you get them, you stop because you want to save money probably and just whatever, or
Hmm.
maybe you're losing too much weight and you need to stop. Then you get off of it. Then you lose the weight again. Then you're like, I know my quick fix. Put in the work. Put in the work. You don't have insulin resistance. You don't have health conditions. What you need to do is be active, be healthy. And I always say this. Anyone close to me knows this and is probably annoyed with here. I always say slow and steady wins the race every time. Quick results will not be sustainable. They will not last. I'm going to get off my high horse now. It just frustrates me.
No,
And the reason why is because I don't want that mental toll to happen to people I care about.
yeah, and I think why we may have had like a little difference on that stance in the beginning was just because I come from more of the bodybuilding world. I'm not a girl, and I know that it doesn't really matter, but it,
You're not a
it
girl.
kind of does. I don't think so. Um, basically, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking of the person that everything's locked in, they just want a little boost. But that's not gonna be the people that probably use it. And I know plenty of guys that um, either don't compete anymore or they do compete some type of bodybuilding. Um, even guys that they just compete against themselves, and they're trying to go on a trip next year, and they'll do a microdose of it or something.
Of GLP-1?
Yeah, of a GLP-1.
Yeah.
And no, that's not what it's made for. That is off label. But I don't have a problem with it personally. I don't really
Yeah.
care,
I
to be
don't
honest.
like it.
I
It
mean,
bothers
if
me
you
so
wanna if
much.
you wanna do heroin, that's your choice, Like, you can pick whatever the heck you wanna do. If
And technically, everybody can do whatever they wanna
That's what
do.
I'm saying. So it's like, I don't think that I'm gonna put somebody down if they're doing it right. Now, if it's that cycle over and over, I mean, I don't have to say anything because 'cause they're not gonna listen. And also, they're gonna notice because the second time, third time you come back around after you've already lost weight and gained it back and got on GLP-1 again, you're gonna have so much muscle loss. You're gonna have all kinds of malnutrition,
Malnutrition, yeah.
yeah, different things like that that
Mhm.
they're just gonna show up. And keep in mind, it's still a really new drug.
Mhm.
We don't know what the long-term effects are at all.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's okay. But if you're doing it for a reason
How
that
long do you think GLP-1's been around?
I haven't looked, I don't know.
20 years.
See, that's really new overall. Like
Yeah.
that hasn't
It's not
been
as new as people think,
that
though.
hasn't been around that long, but mostly it hasn't been prescribed that long. It hasn't been used widely, and there's still hardly any studies on it. So, even if it's been around for decades, it's still not something that people are really aware about, in depth.
You know what I think is funny? Hot take. My mind just thought of it.
But,
This might get me banned. Listen, we're just unfiltered around here, okay? Semi. Hot take. You said GLP-1 is not new, as in like, okay, it's not like 50 years or whatever. So why are people bash talking GLP-1, but they're so quick to run to a vaccine from a sickness worldwide pandemic that we had? Give me the vaccine! Like, I'm gonna get so banned. To each their own, but I'm just saying, if you are a person that talks smack on GLP-1 and thinks they're not enough research, but you also will put something into your body in 2 seconds that came out overnight, then you might ask yourself some questions. That's all I'm saying. I'm not bash talking anybody that takes vaccines. I'm talking.
it's not their fault. They're listening to the fake news. So, yeah, they tell you you have to get this, you're gonna die. Like everybody's gonna run and do it for sure. But
No, I didn't
have
die.
you
Did
run
you?
research? I don't think so.
No, I'm still here. Anyways, we're getting off topic, or going on a rabbit trail that we don't need to. It's a thought that came to my mind, and I had to say it. How have you seen GLP-1 and me using it positively affect us? I've never asked you that, so I'm just curious. Like, have you seen any positive effects with like our dynamic, or like in me, I guess?
Well, it's not a positive from being not on the GLP-1 compared to being on it, but going from the Ozempic to the Mounjaro, everything was better.
Well, do you see a difference in my confidence at all?
Oh yeah, because I wouldn't say that you were, overly concerned or overly depressed. You definitely weren't obese. I think you were just frustrated because you were trying and it wasn't really changing much.
And then I would get frustrated because I'd see people that didn't try that hard and they were just like
Yeah,
killing it.
I think it was just more of a weight off your shoulders. Like, oh my gosh, cool, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
it's a big difference there, and just you being more confident, you're just happier in general too. So yeah, it's big positive.
yeah, I would say that in turn is like a positive for our relationship
Yeah,
if
of
I'm more
course.
confident. The fun thing about Mike is he's never acted differently toward me as far as like physically from, I can't say there's a difference between previous to now. Like he always has made me feel beautiful, sexy, wanted, all the things. So that's nice, but now I believe it when he
Yeah.
says those things.
You're my wife, and I'm always gonna see you the way I see you,
Yeah.
But I guess if you were 500 pounds, I'd probably mention it. Like, sweetie,
That I want to keep you
we got to
here.
take care of
Yeah,
this.
I want to keep you
I
here.
wouldn't let
Like,
it go that
do
far, but
something.
still, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think for me, like I haven't really noticed the changes until like more recently. Like Mike would point things out. I had some friends point things out, but even like my clothes are fitting different and I knew that, but I think just it wasn't just until recently that it started clicking because I was actually getting like kind of frustrated because
Mhm.
my clothes weren't working. And I know that's a good problem to have, but it is frustrating when you're like, okay, like in your head I'm going to wear this outfit and you put it on and it just like it's not that it's too big, it just doesn't look good
Well,
anymore.
when you're
So,
like on a time limit, you're trying to get ready for work and get out the door, and
yeah.
you're like trying 10 different things and they're all falling off of you. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little frustrating, but
We're gonna do spring cleaning after this, and so I'm gonna go through my summer dresses and spring dresses and clothes, and I am a little bit nervous because I'm gonna try them on and see what things that I can still make work and what doesn't.
guess we have to buy you new clothes.
Shucks,
Darn.
darn. Overall, it's been a good experience. So take it from a type 1 diabetic that has had a really good experience on GLP-1.
And again, we're not professionals in any kind of health
Yeah, I feel like
matter,
that's pretty apparent.
but also we're not saying, we're not advocating, we're not saying do it. We're just saying that this is what happened when we did it, and it was positive mostly.
Yeah.
80-90% positive. And I'm only saying that because of the Ozempic was not so great.
Yeah.
But the Monjaro, amazing. Trizepatide, yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, the only downside personally is that insurance doesn't cover it and that it's just it's so far out of reach for type 1 diabetics. Like to me, maybe $150, it sucks, yes, but $150 a month maybe isn't as huge of a deal that it could be to the next person. And so for me that like I hate that so much because I think it should be a lot more accessible and I could definitely use that 150 back a month. Like that'd be nice.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's like so many different things. I could think of so many things that we could
That's a
do
car
that.
wash membership.
Well, I
Really
just
nice
got
one.
an email today from our natural gas bill and so like it wasn't $150. It was 89. But still, that's like,
Oh,
a
the
gas
receipt? Yeah.
bill. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I do
Yeah.
both of us do recognize that's not like as easy for some people, which is why I'm like, gosh, insurance, like why can't you help out more? And my endo thinks that she told me the other day, she thinks that we are getting closer and closer to them approving it
We
for
are,
type 1s, but
because
there's no money in it.
yeah, there's a lot of things that are changing on the back end, just for like laws and insurance and different things, all in the medical realm.
Yeah.
But it just takes forever to do it. So even when a law changes, they're not going to roll it out for a couple
And
years.
there's just no money in it as compared to like, I'm going to see if my endocrinologist would do a podcast episode. She's actually on my list of guests that I want to have. Cause she'd be able to actually give you the
Oh man, that
education
would be
piece.
so
That would be
great. Yeah.
amazing. But she was telling me she thinks like a part of it is just there's no money in it. There's not as much money in something like GLP-1 that's actually helping reduce insulin usage. So that like
But see,
reduces money spent on
what
insulin
normally
and
happens is, to get a drug out like that, what they'll do is they'll market it off label. They'll say it's a weight loss drug, but it helps with insulin. That's what they'll do.
yeah.
And so it'll sell like crazy, but the people that need it can just get it. So that's cool. But the other people are just going to use it and abuse it. Yeah. So I say, hey, make everything, available if it's going to help people, especially people that are in any type of life. What am I trying to say? Not life threatening. What is it?
Like a chronic illness?
Yeah. Chronic illness, anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say earlier? You said you thought of something, but you didn't want to tell me because you wanted to tell me for the first time in front of everybody. You said you
Oh,
thought of something.
yeah,
Just say.
I have a short story, very short. Last night, so I woke up because I thought I heard something. It was, I think, 2. It was probably about 2 a.m. And I don't know what I thought it was or whatever. Maybe I thought I woke myself up, but I was about to just roll over and go to sleep. But then my phone was like blinking, and I was like, I don't even keep my notifications on, so what's up? Well, I got a notification from AT&T, the like my AT&T app. I'm sorry, I'm boring you. That's where we have our Wi-Fi through. Basically, it notified me that someone connected to our Wi-Fi. It said it was an Android and it was in our attic.
Did you go up there?
No, but I got my gun. I turned all the lights on the perimeter of the house. I made sure everything was cool. Didn't hear
You
anything.
left me alone in the
Didn't see
room?
anything.
What if somebody came and killed me?
No, nobody's. I literally walked through and checked everything. So, yeah. But that was strange because it's not like we were on a new Roku or we were setting up a new TV or something and it says like, oh, unrecognized
How do you know it was in
device.
the attic?
That's just what it actually said. It says attic. Like it says location of your home, it'll say attic. And our Roku says bedroom. So it's accurate. It's really weird though. I think what happened was it was some type of delay from we had a power outage yesterday and that our alarm system went offline, and when it came back online it reconnected. It just took too long or something, or the notification came in later. But I really thought somebody like snuck into our house and was trying to use our Wi-Fi on their phone in like my attic, so I was ready. But
But you didn't go to the attic.
no, because that would have been really loud and that was a lot of work. But
But what if somebody
you
was actually
you
here?
can't actually get in the attic and pull the ladder up though. The ladder was up. If the
Oh.
ladder was down, I would know if somebody got
Oh.
up there. But no, nobody's in the house. I went through the garage. I looked around outside because we have windows on every piece of this house, it seems like. So I didn't actually go outside. So I didn't like leave you or anything. But that was strange. And so I was pretty much just awake after that.
I've been watching not watching, I've been listening to way too much true crime lately. I found this new podcast that I like. This is completely off topic, but I don't even care anymore. I found this new podcast that I like called Mystery Mondays. First of all, I just love her accent. I love her voice. She's
British?
Australian.
Australian.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Australian, and she's just like such a cute voice and such an easy listen. Anyway, and so I've just been listening to those. Like literally, I listen to probably like 3 or 4 a day.
We'll put a link to her channel in the description.
Yeah, I'll help another channel
Who
out.
cares? We're not doing this for us.
Yeah. Seriously though, if you like listening about true crime, she has a really good way of sharing it to where it's not like spooky, eerie, like it's just like factual. Anyway, it sounds like your girlfriend's like telling you a story, but all that to say, I've been watching way too much of that lately. I'm like, people could have a way. There's squatters.
It's true. Well, I keep getting notifications in our neighborhood app for a creepy truck or somebody walked by. I got that video the other day I showed you of one of our neighbors. A guy rode a bike through the lawn, grabbed their
That was
Amazon
in our neighborhood
package.
or in the
I mean,
other
I say our
version?
neighborhood, our area.
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 miles away, but it wasn't our.
I feel like in
actual
our neighborhood, I mean, I guess I don't know, but our
neighborhood is super new.
Yeah.
And everyone's excited to be here. Everyone's looking out. So we've got eyes on stuff. We do have a lot of construction crews right now because we still have a couple of houses being built.
That's another reason why we are filming in here also, because they're building a new house across the street and they're just blaring the music and hacking away. And so we couldn't figure out the lighting and it was frustrating. We finally were just like, let's just move in here. So, yeah.
Here we are. So let us know what you think if anyone watches this. Should we do another one in here or maybe try our dining room just until we get the office ready?
Yeah, I honestly kind of want to keep doing them in here until we have like the full office makeover and we can like debut it. Is that the right word? Really, like, here it is. And that'll be a while.
It's always work in progress.
This was really like way comfier though. I liked it. It was way comfier.
Yeah.
Okay, we have spring cleaning to do. How should we outro these every week? I kind of want to say like the same line every time.
What's your message you're trying to get across?
I just want couples to feel seen, heard, and loved and understood.
There you go.
I literally don't know what to say.
Realize. You're good.
We're going to go spring clean. I don't know how to outro these, so yeah. Bye!